It's a day ending in Y, which means an awful time to be a fan of anything New York.
Down and gone.
Between the Mets, Giants, Jets, Bills, and so far the Yankees, it's been a relentless belt to ass-a-thon. But the New York collapse I wasn't expecting is one Mark Sanchez. Since his stint as former savior of MetLife turned utter Jet pariah, Mark retired from the league to take a job as college football analyst for ESPN and ABC. And over the years, he's had the opportunity to take an NFL commentating job at Fox. And that sets the stage for this past weekend's events. If you're like me, and apparently everyone else, your Twitter doom scrolling revealed that Sanchez was hospitalized in Indianapolis for being fucking stabbed? That's a crazy statement in and of itself. I was in Indy 6 months ago, it's not that dangerous of a town. Well wishes poured in from across the internet. Mark was there to broadcast a massacre disguised as a Raiders-Colts game. But because the initial story listed him as stable condition, we returned to the Saturday tradition of Penn State blowing another game. Against UCLA? Really? The rabbit hole only got deeper when about 6 hours and one Nittany Lion humiliation later, we got a Shyamalan twist. According to an Indianapolis police briefing that most people thought would be about the charges the assailant was facing, Mark Sanchez himself was the assailant. Arrested at the hospital he was being treated at on charges of public intoxication, unlawful entry into a vehicle, and battery resulting in serious bodily injury. A level 5 fucking felony. Everything regarding the situation was now upside down. And as of now, we only have the police report and witness testimony to go on, as well as security camera video that captured the entire incident. The 69-year-old victim alleges that while he was collecting used cooking oil from the hotel restaurant as part of his job, he was approached by a visibly drunk Mark Sanchez who informed them that he couldn't be parking here, and that he had spoken to the manager. After circling the car, Sanchez tried to get into the driver's side door before throwing the victim against the dumpster, and a struggle began between the two. Kind of like the average Jets game when Sanchez was under center.
I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it!
Eventually, the driver would pepper spray Mark, only for it to have minimal effect. Sanchez had built up immunity to it from either the alcohol or the Jets. Maybe both. The old man thought, this guy's gonna kill me, before he made the decision to whip out his knife and stab Sanchez in self-defense. Mark apparently took off running down the alley after realizing there were more holes in his chest than he bargained for, and the victim collapsed to the ground on the spot. When police arrived at 12:30 a.m. local time, they found the old man still in the alley nursing his facial wounds, which were described as cutting the entire way through his cheek into his tongue. They then found Sanchez in an adjoining street corner, apparently not able to scramble very far himself. Nothing I saw via the police press conferences or releases to the media said anything about Mark being armed with a weapon, meaning the injury likely resulted from blunt force trauma. A local news affiliate released the photos of the victim's injury. Ironically, the Fox affiliate Sanchez would have been broadcasting on Sunday for the game. I've linked the photos below, but I'll warn you it isn't a paper cut or blister. Viewer discretion's advised. Mark was apparently booked while at the hospital, so as of now he's technically out on bail. And sadly, we don't get a mugshot. The New York Post headline would have been generational with that. For his part, Mark stated that the last thing he remembers is grabbing for the car door. Didn't state why though. Convenient. As far as the coverage for this story, things remained absolutely stupid. Indiana's governor and attorney general immediately released statements following the initial release of Mark's stabbing, calling out soft-on-crime Democrats in charge of the city for creating an environment that allowed poor Mark to be assaulted. Then the truth came out. Oops. Now that's what I call pissing away a cushy career. Mark Sanchez butt-fumbling opportunity. It's a tale as old as time. But what I'm most pissed about? No 5-star mugshot of the man in question. We were robbed, damn it! A few days after the incident, we got info that the victim's family has officially filed a civil suit against Sanchez and the Fox network. The complaint alleges Fox the company knew or should have known about Sanchez's unfitness as an employee, propensity for drinking, and/or harmful conduct. It goes on to say that the media corporation's hiring, retention, and failure to supervise Sanchez while he was in Indy to cover the Colts-Raiders game for Fox led to the victim's, quote, severe permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, emotional distress, and other damages. I mean, it is a work trip, you might have ground there. And even if not, with the footage captured, it seems highly likely they'll have an open and shut case against Sanchez. Suddenly, this piece of football art has been given whole new meaning. It represents Mark as a man, too.
Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up. Flings it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead.